Hey gang, welcome back to the Ultimate Street Fighting Systems Combat Jiu-Jitsu series. This is tape number 5, and I'm Walt Bayless. Again with me is Big Darren Lopez, and we're going to be working on this last tape on escapes and reversals. So this will really help put together all the training that you've had up to this point, all your attacks, how to get out of some of these tough positions and attack again yourself. It'll give you a little continuity in your training and allow you to get a chance to build an actual fighting system with your ground grappling. It'll have your own little flavor to it. But there are some good ways and some great ways, and they're the best ways to get out of some of these really tough positions. And we're going to work with some of the basics here that I think are the most solid, fundamental powerhouse ways to get out of some tough positions. And like I said, put your opponent back into some of your own. The first thing I'd like to start with is getting out of the guard. Now this thing is not as difficult as it looks, but it can be tough if you're not working in the right direction here. When we're wrapped up inside of here, the best thing to do is to keep your distance from your opponent, because he wants to keep you down low here and put you in a lot of trouble. So as you begin to work back up your opponent here and keep your distance like this, okay? Now, just like we did in the leg lock series, I'd like to take one of my knees and split the middle with him, okay? He'll probably have his hands, his legs locked up very, very tightly on my back, trying to keep me in, and his arms will probably be, fidgeting with some of mine, trying to keep me back down. I'm gonna keep back, brace myself, put one knee in the middle, and sit back. That sitting back right there alone is tough, because you wanna make sure you have good balance. Don't get yourself in a straight line where you're gonna fall over. Get down in a low balance position, okay? Turning sideways will lengthen the width of my torso here, and it'll separate his legs right away. So, as I do that, I'm gonna take my lead arm here and kind of keep it inside of his leg. With this next arm, I'm gonna drop it down underneath here, slowly work it underneath his leg. The reason why I want to keep this leg here blocked out with my left arm is because if I have it pulled inside, I'm susceptible to the original figure 4 choke we just worked on before. To keep it out of the way, I keep it blocked down here, drop this underneath till it comes all the way through to the shoulder here. And my preference is, since there's no gi to grab, to lock your hands, pull him in tight to you, and punch your arm across, ending up in the cross body position again. The same move from the other side, so you can see what we're doing. The guard's wrapped up tight here, we're pulled in, you ease back, get a little space, split the body, here, and lean back, get a little space. Block that outside leg, in comes the other arm inside here, pulls in, punches through, and again we're in cross body. In a safe position where we can start working again on some of our attacks. Next, the same move, I think you should spend some time trying, especially on a really powerful opponent who's always constantly pulling in the elbows, not giving you much space to work with. A simple thing to do there, a lot of times, is as you walk back, you're having trouble, to sit back, I find, dig with an elbow like this, and put both arms under at the same time. This is a very, very powerful escape. Although it feels like you're gonna have your head scissored, you'll be okay. Drop it inside here. If he's grabbing on tight to your elbows, pulling him in, you can fold them underneath here, pull them up, and punch across here, and be out in no time. Okay, and one more time from here. I've got trouble with the elbows here being held like this. I still want to walk up as best I possibly can inside here. You can clear the elbows with your opposite hand sometimes. Walk back, just try to get a little position. He'll still hang on to those elbows. Just get the legs enough apart inside here where you can fold both hands underneath, dive him up, and I pull his hips up to me, punch across, and in cross body I start again. All right, that's a piece of cake. That's probably one of the most effective moves that I can think of at getting out of the guard. If you get both hands under, you're doing really well. It's easy, it clears everything really, really well. This one I also like a whole lot. Inside here, when we're sitting back, you still one knee in, easing back here, turn him off to the side. I like to drive the leg to the ground here. Now, it's tempting when you start driving this out to try to put this knee through here. A lot of times what happens though is you'll get this foot blocking your hip. That's real common. People that are good with their feet will hook underneath and all kinds of things. You want to keep that foot off your hip and blocked inside. Use your elbow to keep your hip clear. Your far leg is what you want to step over with. Even if you're on both knees here and you have the leg pinned down, don't step over with your near knee like this. This is only get you halfway out of the guard. Step over with your cross knee here. Keep it down, cross knee like this. In, post that arm down, and come out and cross body again this way. From the other angle here, back inside the guard. Drive a knee in, tilt back, pin that one knee down here, cross knee out, here, inside there. That cross knee is a lot better. Turn the corner, and back into crossbody you go. Let's look at that slowly again, one more time. As I step back here, ease it off, that leg down, cross knee out. One, I post this hand here, and shoot that one over, crossbody, piece of cake. Now, escaping the guard is going to require a lot of practice because there are a lot of variables. When you're working with your opponent, he'll be attacking you from a number of different ways. You'll get more and more clever with your feet, start keeping each other off balance, but train with the basics. Those things will never let you down. Getting into a position where you can start to use some of these escapes is going to be your challenge. The locks and the chokes and the escapes and reversals and everything and takedowns and so on in jiu-jitsu are not many. However, the combinations in achieving each one of those things is the real trick of this art. That's where the strategies lie. So when you're in the guard, take your time. Don't rush your way out of it. Move out of it when you get a chance. Now, a tougher, a little scarier position, but not quite so difficult to escape, it requires a little more immediate attention, is when you're mounted. So I'm going to have Darren hop up on the mount. I'm on the bottom here. In this position, it's particularly intimidating, and you are in some immediate danger because the punches are coming in and things like that. You've got a lot of trouble. Now, bucking your hips up and trying to throw your opponent off is ridiculous. Forget about doing that altogether. However, sometimes pushing up your hips a little bit will cause him to, a lot of times to put his hands back down. If a hand comes down here, I'm going to show you a simple and basic roll. With the hand down here, all I'm going to do is lock my hands around this one arm. I'm picking one arm or the other, okay? If the hand is too far away, I'll slide my body to the arm. But right now, the hand hits the mat. Work this with your opponent. Have him put his hand down on the mat, reach around, and lock your hands. Once again, palm to palm, like this. Palm to palm. And as you do, pull it into your chest tightly here, locking it in. You don't have to break the person's arm, you just need to get it down. Pull it in tightly to your chest. Nextly, I like to hook his leg, but it's difficult a lot of times to get your heel up high enough to hook his foot. Okay? If you can, that's great. If you can't, straightening your leg out and pinning the leg to the floor will be good enough. Pin it down or hook it. Take this elbow here. You see, you have to stop the entire side of his body, okay, from adjusting, so he'll fall over. He's like a table, but he's not a table with 4 legs, he's a table with 6 legs. His feet and his hands are balancing, but he's also got his knees. So you've trapped the foot, the arm, and now take the knee, and now you bridge and roll. You're back up into a position where you're in the guard, then you can fold back underneath, drive up, turn the corner, and you're out of there. One more time. All together. From the mounted position here. Okay, I'm in a lot of trouble, like this. If I can get this hand down, locked out, pushed up inside here, I lock it up this way. Locking the hand up this way is a possibility inside here, all right? But I think you're gonna learn to prefer this way here, all right? You're in less trouble when you end up on the other side. I roll this down inside here tight, pinch this hard into the knee, trap his foot, all at the same time. Bridge and roll. Move. Then I can break and begin to work on one of my other escapes from the guard. Okay, now, again from the mount, you want to practice when you're working on your escapes, just grappling, you can take your time. But for street fighting situations, you can slowly, after you get your technique down, this is one to practice quickly because you're in some need to get rid of this position. The second way is when you find the person's arms are too strong, okay? Definitely in this case, I can't even pull them in, I can't roll, or every time I roll they try to adjust. I'm having a really, really hard time. So to reverse this position, what we're gonna do is not only abandon the roll here, but we're gonna take a completely different position with our upper body. We're gonna cover up here and turn to the side. So I'm gonna cover up, turn to the side here, and as always, he'll probably adjust by coming up on that one foot there, okay? If they don't, they'll find themselves having a lot more difficulty keeping you in the guard anyway. So we're gonna deal with the most difficult situation first. His foot's up on his side. I'm covered up here to protect myself from what's gonna be happening here. Okay, it's gonna be rough. You got yourself in this position, you gotta get out of it now. Cover up inside here, take both elbows and get underneath the leg. Inside here, I get underneath the leg with both elbows. Now, I don't try to push his leg away from me, but I try to drive my body back. creating a big opening in his legs. Drive him back here. Now, I like to come underneath with my knees, one at a time. One, and turn back in. Here. That'll free me out of the mount. After that, it's a big scramble for good position. There's a couple of options from there, however. Okay, one more time. Okay? I'm gonna turn this way a bit more so you can see how we do this. Okay? I'm covering up here, turning to the side. Get both elbows underneath his leg here. Drive them up, still covering, and drive my hips back. Underneath comes one knee, then two knees. Then I'm back up again to a different position. Now, what I like to do, we've learned by breaking the legs open to the guard, we have a whole variety of ankle locks that are available to us right out of the escape. Okay? I want to show you one here that's just waiting for you on this particular move. Mounted again, I turn to the side, elbows under, drive back. Now watch, okay? The knee on the bottom comes through first and makes space for my top knee. Bottom knee, top knee, okay? Lift up, and I get my other knee through here. The knee on the bottom straightens out and comes over the top. Inside here, right into the ankle. One more time. From the mounted position here, I turn to the side, cover, drive up. Now, my knee on the bottom creates space for my knee on the top. The knee on the top comes through here. The knee on the bottom, which was here, straightens out now, okay? I've already grabbed the ankle and it comes around the outside here. And I've got the second ankle lock available to me. Right there. One more time, all together. As I turn to the side, fall up, drive back, inside here, taking the ankle lock there. That's how it all works together. Okay, now, I think we've chewed on those good. I want to show you one that's real common here from the knees. Okay, this could apply to standing or anything else too. One really difficult position is the front choke this way, or the guillotine. Okay, when you're in here, he'll lock his hands right away. What you need to do is take your outside hand and roll it down your chest, just like this. Your other hand could come in over the top and get some space here. You need some space. The first thing you want to do is create that space and turn your head toward his body, like that. That will keep the pressure off of your esophagus, okay? And allow you to, your neck's a little thinner that way, I hope. Turn to the side here, allow you to breathe for a bit. With that space, you'll work into this next move. Turning in sideways, you want to plant your hand down here and sit out. Not this hand, my forehand here. I'll show you from the other side in a second. Here we go. Step like this and sit back. Inside, into the guard. I'm hanging onto this wrist here because as soon as I lay back, the hand that was choking me before is now part of his shoulder lock. So as I grab, lean my head back and lift, I've got the shoulder lock right there. One more time. Inside, on comes the choke. Boom, first thing I want to do, create some space here. Sit up, underneath into the guard, grab that wrist, look up, and I'm set to go. One more time from the other side. Inside here, go ahead and grab like this. All right. This hand's coming over the top, this hand underneath, rolling it down, step, and sitting in here. This other hand's, I like to keep underneath his arm, keeping him into me, lifting the same way. All right, gang, that'll cover some of the more sticky stuff. On the ground, I'd like to go over a couple of things from standing, and here we go. Okay, gang, from the standing position, one of the most difficult places people find themselves is the body lock wrapped around behind him. Okay, this is the first thing we're going to deal with here. Now, what we're going to start with is driving our hips forward and sinking our weight back into him like this, making it more difficult for him to hold us. This will make it a lot harder for him to adjust his hands. I'm going to sink down here, and I'm going to step behind him. What I need to do, since I'm going to pick one side or the other, I usually want to fake one way or the other to get him thinking. So I step out here, get him moving, then I step around clean to the other side, here. Boom. Once I get behind him here, hang on to the outside wrist, squat, and lift with my hips gently, okay? Boom, back down on the ground we go. And I do want to land on him, so make sure you train in a soft place when you're working with your partner here. Now you're in a position where you can mount over immediately when you land, and you're okay. That's the way we're gonna work it. I'm gonna show you the same thing from another angle. Like this here. Turn this way. Again, hips are coming out, keeping pressure on his hands. Fake one way, come back the other. I'm gonna squat down, move in, and lift. Ooh. Inside here. It's gonna be a rough one. As soon as he hits, the far leg mounts over, and you're in a secure position again. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to show you that one 8 times, but Darren doesn't want to. Yeah. Okay. Inside here, there could be a body lock from the side, this way. Okay? He's not completely behind you. When you're in this position, you have a couple of neat options. One is the throw we already showed you. He's already set himself up for a possible throw. This is an intimidating and tough place to be, but take advantage of the position that he's given you. I would rather that you were in this position and your opponent were in this one. However, if you find yourself here, you do have some options. First of all, I'm going to take his elbow and his head. The headlock's right in front of us here. So as I squat, turn my hips into him, I have the same move that we had before. In the headlock. Again from the other side. Wrapped up and tight. I'm going down here. Take a hold of the elbow, hand over the top, like this. Sit, pop the hips. Headlock, back out here to the side. Now, if your opponent's too strong or too low, you don't feel like you can pick him up and throw him, there's a really fantastic alternative. In fact, I would probably go for this one over the other guy because the throw's good, but it leaves too much open when you're hurling something through the air. You may do it with good experience, but this one you can bet on. He's real strong or too low. Still take that elbow, take the same position. But instead of throwing with the hand behind the head, what I'm going to do is take it and drive it straight down to the floor. Straight down to the floor, okay? And as I do that, the leg that's nearest him will sit out, and I slide forward, putting my weight down on him. Like this. Inside here. And it'll collapse him right back down into the position where you have your locks and your chokes available. One more time. From the body lock position here, big trouble inside. Straight down to the floor and sitting out. Go through him. Don't run away from him. Go through him. Inside there. Sit back. Right. Don't lean yourself back until you hit the floor. Bam, into the headlock again. Okay, one more time the other side. We stand up in here. A common mistake when people do this move is to lean back. They slide underneath their opponent completely and find themselves in a lot of trouble. Put your weight, all of your weight, even if it's not that much, right on the top half of his body, okay? Make him lift, make him hold it all up. When I say punch this through, I didn't mean fall backwards. Punch it through and sit out. Inside here. Right back through, you lean back, you're on your back. When you punch through the top this way, fire forward, you come over the top of your opponent, back in the headlock. One last time here. The throw, you drop your hips, back out in the headlock again. And the sit out here, body lock rush, straight forward, into the headlock again. Okay, gang, that'll wrap it up. That's tape number 5 for you. I hope that helped a ton, and I'm sure it will. Take this time, as usual, go back to the beginning, start with the very basics, listen to the little details, and train them, picking 1, 2, 3 at the most. Moves per training session, work them through to the end, and we'll see you guys for the next series. It's been a great time. Work hard. Thanks a lot.